Tennessee's Wild Side, broadcast for nearly 2 decades, was originally created through a vision of the Jackson Foundation. The foundation remains a supportive partner in the mission to educate viewers about wildlife, natural resources, and opportunities for outdoor adventure. Tennessee's Wild Side is produced in association with Rockwater TV.
Hi friends, welcome to the Wild Side. I'm Steve Hall. There are a plethora of adjectives we can call on when writing or speaking about the natural geography of Tennessee. If you appreciate alliteration, and I do, combining words like wild wonders, majestic mountains, shimmering streams, and raging rivers can provide inspirational imagery. We cannot overstate how fortunate we are to have wildlife protected in special places where people are also welcome to explore and experience. And it's time for a 50-year celebration. Precious, sacred scenes unfold, in the words of an old hymn, with memories flooding the mind of a former Tennessee governor.
The natural areas simply exist by virtue of the Heavenly Father, not us, but we need to take care of them.
More than half a century ago, Governor Winfield Dunn explored a rugged wilderness on the Cumberland Plateau that would soon be protected with the stroke of his pen.
I fell in love with the Savage Gulf when I first became a candidate for governor back many years ago. That impression of Tennessee's beauty just stayed with me. I never ceased to be grateful for any opportunity to get out to see what Mother Nature has bestowed on the people of Tennessee, and I do so at every opportunity.
I think his legacy for natural areas preservation truly cannot be overstated. And he talked a lot about Savage Gulf. And a few weeks ago I was at Savage Gulf and I was with a colleague and we looked out over the Gulf and someone made the comment of, you know, people would say we're lucky that we have these places, but it's not luck that saved them. It was dedication of champions of conservation, including our political leaders at the time, who had the foresight to draft, pass, and then execute the Natural Areas Preservation Act of 1971.
This was extraordinarily beneficial to our state.
This historic picture preserves the moment Governor Dunn signed the state's Natural Areas Act. He's joined by State Representative Victor Ashe and State Senator Bill Bruce. The fourth person in this picture is Bob Miller, a state geologist who volunteered years of his time to advocate protection of Tennessee's environmental treasures.
Originally, I was interested in saving rivers, so we formed the Tennessee Scenic Rivers Association. There just wasn't a lot of enthusiasm for the environment at the time, but it was beginning. And there was a National Scenic Rivers System which was being considered in Washington, and fortunately Tennessee beat the federal government we had the first comprehensive Scenic Rivers Act in the United States, and so we were kind of proud of that.
Bob had a lot of help on that project from the late Bill and Lee Russell, founders of Tennessee Citizens for Wilderness Planning, and it was perfect preparation for a request they would soon receive.
Representative Victor Ashe came to us and said, could you work up a draft of a Natural Areas Act? And we figured, this is great fortune too. So Bill and Lee and I started putting together the draft of the Natural Areas Act and got it to Victor, and of course who polished it up and did the really hard work of working through the legislature with the help of Bill Bruce, who was senator from Memphis at the time. And the rest is what we say is history.
Over the course of 50 years, 84 spectacular landscapes have been designated and protected as Tennessee state natural areas.
We try to find those places that are either the least disturbed or have some rare species or exemplary plant community that can be protected or restored. So sometimes the sites are degraded, but through our work of restoration, of treating exotic species, sometimes introducing some of our rare species, they represent just a snapshot on the landscape of what may have been here in the past. They also are places that help protect a number of imperiled species that otherwise would not be protected.
And of course, most of the natural areas are accessible to the public for great outdoor adventures. Some very easy, and some, like Savage Gulf, can be quite challenging, as our retired governor remembers.
It is tough. We rode horses into the Gulf. When we dismounted from the horses and began walking in the Gulf, I remember stepping over stones, and behind me was a wonderful man named Mac Pritchard, who was a friend of mine before I became governor. And Mac said to me, "Governor, if you smell anything, it's just rattlesnake beds down beneath the rocks." That got my attention.
Well, I don't know if I have a favorite. I mean, we're here at Radnor Lake, which is a very popular one and is a great touchstone for so many people to come and see a natural area. Some of my favorites include Pogue Creek Canyon in Fentress County that was designated in 2004 with the help of the Nature Conservancy, that just protects amazing sandstone gorge and canyons. May Prairie State Natural Area in Coffee County harbors more rare species than any other state natural area, with nearly 24 imperiled plants, some of which exist nowhere else in Tennessee. And then looking in West Tennessee, the Ghost River State Natural Area is just a great experience of a free-flowing river as to what our rivers used to be like in West Tennessee.
From gentle streams and roaring rivers to waterfalls, deep gorges, and high rock walls, visitors find opportunities for diverse activities in extremely diverse landscapes, all shielded from widespread development across the state.
What our hope was on the Scenic Rivers Act, and especially the Natural Areas Act, was let's save the best. Let's try to save the best, because the rest is going to have a lot of pressure put upon it. And that's what's happening now. I mean, the Nashville population expected to be over 1 million, the general Nashville area, in not too many years in the future. We go to the park to hike now out at Evan Park, and it's hard to find a parking place. There's so many people there. Now, it's wonderful that they're enjoying the park, but if we don't have very many places to go, they're going to be loved to death is what's going to happen. So we're very fortunate in Tennessee to have so many beautiful places.
Well, I can certainly say that it would be very positive for our current legislators and governor to continue to look for other areas that can be embraced by the Natural Areas Program, and I hope it will happen.
Tennessee's Wild Side has been a presentation of the Jackson Foundation in association with Rockwater TV.